those errors, then it seems worth a try. As for the non-advice stuff, it's nice to have a place where I can write in my own voice, even if it's not necessarily as myself. I know a lot of folks come to my work for the fun and humor, so I wanted to deliver on that, even on a seemingly more serious project. In closing, and this is definitely a bad closing point, though it is a true one, keep in mind that all of the advice in here is genuinely intended, but that doesn't mean you shouldn't throw it away if it fails to work. Writing is an intensely personal process, and the book market shifts near daily. The tactics I can offer are examples of what's worked for me and what I know, and should be viewed as jumping-off points alone. The most sincere and useful thing I can say is this: writing is about finding the process that works for you. Advice and outside perspectives are always useful, sometimes even eye-opening, and yet the most important factor is whether or not the guidance helps your particular process. No one, not Shakespeare, not Cervantes, and especially not me, knows the right way to create something. All any author can do is share their lessons and hope they help to light your path. Debunking Writer Myths. You. Being a writer is a lot like being a mythical creature, if mythical creatures had constant bouts of anxiety and drinking problems. But more honestly, the two are similar in that both creatures are surrounded by myth, speculation, and conflicting information. Thanks to that, there are certain beliefs that get embedded in regard to the strange animal known as the writer and the craft they practice, some of which I wanted to debunk. If this goes well, perhaps I'll tackle more mythical creatures in the future, such as leprechauns, and why they feel the need to hide all that gold. Hint, they're dodging bookies. Poor little folks can't resist the siren song of gambling. But for this chapter, we're sticking to writer myths, starting with the one I see the most. Writers are either rich or broke. When I tell someone I write books for a living, the reactions generally go in one of two ways. By far the most common is that they'll say something about how interesting that sounds, and then go on to ask me what my real job is. Or they'll heft their eyebrows up in surprise and say something about the next round being on the guy with the movie pilot that's surely in the works. I'm going to blame this one on cinema, because they do tend to always portray writers in one of the two extremes. We're either shown as dirt poor, splitting ramen blocks in half to survive, or are fabulously wealthy with huge houses and fleets of cars. Hell, if the story is about a writer rising from desperation to success, you'll even sometimes see both depictions in the same film. But the truth is, writing is a job like any other, and in that job, there is a spectrum of success. Let's use accounting as a comparison. Some accountants are piss-poor interns fighting to make rent. Some run their own businesses and have yachts with smaller yachts inside. In between those two are a shitload of people who make a living, yet still have to keep track of their spending and budget. It's the same with writers. The vast majority of us who do this full-time make enough money to pay the bills and perhaps put a little into savings, same as other folks our age. Oh, and almost none of us have movie or TV deals. But I'm always open to emails if you'd like to change that. Writer's block comes from lack of ideas. Pretty much all of us have seen this plot device. A formerly successful writer has suddenly run dry of ideas, leading them to take some sort of existential quest to find true love, seek the spirit of adventure, mend their broken parental relationships, snort prodigious amounts of cocaine, thus rekindling their creative spark. And look, I don't speak for everyone. I'm not going to say this situation has never happened in all the history of writing. What I will say, however, is that it has almost never happened. Among all the writers I've talked to and work with, a lack of ideas has never once come up as an issue. Honestly, if anything, it's the exact opposite.